Hello everybody, my name is Tholofatso. I will be teaching mathematics level 4. Okay guys, in mathematics level 4, you need to remember everything that you did in mathematics level 3, right? Just like this rule which says that I squared is equals to negative 1, right? And also this rule which says square root of negative 1 is equals to I. This means your answer must be negative 1 or your answer must be I, right? Whenever you see a negative inside the square root, it will become error. So in mathematics, that error is becoming imaginary number, right? Do you remember that? So your exponent here, it must be less than 2. If you got exponent just like I to the power 3, it is more than 2. In order for you to change it, you just start by writing I squared inside the bracket, right? This means you know that 3 minus 2, you left with 1, right? This means that 1, remember in exponential law, if you multiply power with the same base, then you add the exponent, right? So this we will have 3i. This means 1, 2, 3, I to the power 3, right? So this means it's 1 plus 1 plus 1, which will give us I to the power 3. There will be 3i, right? So know this one, there will be 3i. So you take 2i inside the brackets. This means there will be only single I remaining, right? So you know that, okay? We know that whenever we see I squared, we are going to put negative 1. So this means it will be negative 1 multiplied by I, right? Negative 1 multiplied by I, it will give us I. That is the final answer. Let us try this one, I to the power 4, alright? So in order for us to change I to the power 4, we know that we put I squared inside the bracket. This means we're left with 2i. But if we are left with 2i, we don't write I squared again, right? It's just that we come to this 4, we say this 4 divided by 2. If it gives us number without commas, we write it the way it is. 4 divided by 2, it will give us how much? 2. We write it outside the bracket, right? This means we know that 2 multiplied by 2, it will give us back to that 4, right? So do the same in this one. I to the power 3, right? To this I to the power 3, if you say that 3 divided by 2, right? It will give you answer with commas. Immediately when it gives you answer with commas, it tells you that something, that there is I outside. Immediately when you take I outside, this means is that you come to your exponent, you subtract 1, because that exponent is 1, right? So if we subtract 1, it will be left with how much? With 2. We come to take this 2. We say 2 divided by this 2. It will give us how much? 1. But we are not allowed to write an exponent of 1 in mathematics, right? So, okay, to this one, we come to say 4 divided by 2, it will give us 2, right? It won't have a commas. This means we know that I squared. Whenever we see I squared, we change it to this rule. It will become negative 1, right? Then there is this squared. This means negative 1 to the power 2 will give us positive 1. Okay, question number 1, guys. It is given that Z1 is equals to 6 plus 4i, right? This thing is in a rectangular form or in a standard form, right? Also this one and Z2, right? Z2 also, it is also in a standard form or in a rectangular form. Okay, let us look at question 1.1. It says determine Z1 multiplied by Z2, right? So that this means if I'm going to determine Z1 multiplied by Z2, it's a multiplication. I'm going to find a product. This means I must have a 2 brackets. This means Z1 is 6 plus 4i, right? But my Z2 is 8 minus 3i, right? Whenever I need a product, this means I'm going to take this 6 and multiply with 8, right? This means, okay, then I say, I'm going to use my calculator, but I say 6 multiplied by 8, which will give me 48, right? This means I'm going to say, my answer is 48, right? I will take this 6 and I will multiply with negative 3. We know that positive 6 multiplied by negative 3 positive multiplied by negative, it will give us negative, right? I will say that 6 multiplied by 3, number multiplied with number, right? This means 6 multiplied by 3, it will give me 18, right? This means I'm going to write 18. But I got this I, right? I write it the way it is. I write I, right? I'm done with this 6. Then I'm left with this part of positive 4. This positive 4i, it's going to do the same in this side. Né? This positive 4i is going to multiply with 8, right? Positive multiplied by positive, it will give us positive. We say 4 multiplied by 8, right? Four multiplied by 8, né? It will give us 32, right? It will give us 32. We do have this I, né? We write it the way it is. Né? This 4 again will come again and multiply with this negative 3i. Remember, number multiply with number, right? 4 multiplied by 3. Okay, let us start by signs. Then positive multiplied by negative, it will give us negative. 4 multiplied by 3, it will give us 12, right? I multiplied by I, it will give us I squared. Whenever we see that I squared, we know that I squared is equal to negative 1, right? And this one, negative 18 and 32, they both have i's. This means that they are like terms, right? Remember, we add the like terms. This 48, I will write it the way it is, right? I will say minus 18 plus 32, because both of them, they go to I, right? Minus 18 plus 32, which will give us positive 40. It will be positive 40i, right? This one, I will change it negative 12. Whenever I see I squared, I will put negative 1, right? This means I will have 48 plus 14i. Negative multiplied by negative to give me positive. 12 multiplied by 1 to give me 12. Guys, remember that this 48 and 12, they are like terms, né? Because both of them, they do not have a variable, any variable, right? This means I will say 48 plus 12, which will give me 60, right? It will be 60. It will be positive, right? I will have this 14 positive 14i. There it is my final answer. I leave it in a rectangular form.